Let's start with the site that breaks the timeline entirely. Göbekli Tepe is over 11,000 years old, older than agriculture, older than pottery, older than civilization as we define it, and yet it contains massive carved stone pillars weighing up to 20 tons, arranged in deliberate circular enclosures. There are no nearby quarries, no tools found, no evidence of permanent settlement, which raises an uncomfortable possibility. Civilization didn't build Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe may have built civilization. Göbekli Tepe doesn't look like a settlement. It looks like a destination. People came here for something and then left. This isn't a missing page in history. It's a missing chapter. And the most unsettling part? We may be standing on top of the rest of it. Göbekli Tepe is pure human impossible. Teotihuacan was once one of the largest cities on Earth, and we don't know who built it. Its layout is precise, aligned to celestial events, structured on a rigid grid, and planned on a scale that implies centralized authority. But by the time the Aztecs arrived, the builders were already gone. They called it the place where gods were made. History calls it unknown. Teotihuacan wasn't built organically. It was planned. Key facts. The city covers over 8 square miles built on a rigid grid system, oriented 15.5 degrees east of true north. Every major structure follows this same orientation. That offset is not accidental. It aligns with solar events, certain stellar risings, volcanic landmarks on the horizon. From the air, the layout shows straight channels, avenues, node-like plazas, repeating residential blocks, monumental components, pyramids. This is why modern observers say it resembles a circuit board, a power distribution network, or a designed schematic rather than a lived-in city. This makes Teotihuacan human impossible. High in Andes Mountains sits Ollantaytambo, with intricately carved stones scattered about. But what makes this site so amazing and definitely human impossible are the 50-ton blocks that were carved atop of one mountain and transported down the mountain, across a river and up another mountain, and place the stones so precise that you can put a sheet of paper between them. These massive stones are not the only thing that seems human impossible. The terraces at first glance look agricultural, but they were multifunctional engineering systems. Terrace construction layers from bottom to top, large stone retaining walls for structural strength, gravel layer for drainage, sand layer for filtration, topsoil for cultivation. This design prevented erosion, allowed water to pass through without collapsing walls, stabilized the mountainside against landslides and earthquakes. Ollantaytambo's water system is astonishingly precise. Channels were carved directly into andesite, an extremely hard volcanic stone. Slopes are calibrated to maintain constant flow. Water moves without turbulence or erosion. Channels often make sharp turns without splashing or loss. This requires understanding of fluid dynamics, precise gradient control over long distances, planning before carving. Mistakes were not fixable. These are not trial and error channels. They are calculated. 2.3 million blocks. That's what it took to build the largest pyramid of Giza. In a 10-hour workday, workers had to quarry, level, transport, and place a stone every 2 to 3 minutes for approximately 27 years. In 20 years, which most scholars agree on, it would be one every 15 seconds. But that's not all. The Great Pyramid is aligned to true north, with precision modern engineers still struggle to replicate. Inside, 50-ton granite blocks, transported hundreds of miles, were lifted and placed deep within the structure. There are no inscriptions explaining how it was done, no tools found, no construction manuals, only silence. The mystery isn't who built it. The mystery is how humans did this, at all. One other note that very few people talk about is that the second pyramid, Khufu's son Khafre's pyramid, was on the same scale as Khufu's pyramid. both consisting over 2 million stone blocks. Is this not human impossible? At Puma Punku, stone blocks look less carved and more manufactured. Right angles, uniform grooves, interlocking geometry. The stones fit together like machine parts. Andesite is extremely hard, yet it was shaped with precision that challenges even modern tooling. If this were found today, we'd assume industrial machinery. But this site is over 1,000 years old. The quarries at Puma Punku were as close as 6 miles away. Sandstone, which some were 100 tons, and the H-blocks were 56 miles away. Neither quarry is downhill. Both require extraction, transport, elevation change. Puma Punku sits at 12,000 feet above sea level. This matters because thin air reduces labor efficiency. Terrain is uneven and marshy. No draft animals capable of heavy hauling at that altitude. No evidence of wheeled transport. Moving the stone would have been a logistics nightmare, and perhaps human impossible. Sigiriya is a city built on top of a sheer rock face. Not just walls, but gardens, pools, fountains, and hydraulic systems that still function today. Water was moved upward, controlled, and distributed with incredible precision. This wasn't just defensive architecture, it was engineering confidence at altitude. At 60 stories high, this fortress in the sky was impenetrable. No stairs to get up there. The stairs in the video were just recently added. The water system still works today. At the base lies a vast complex of symmetrical water gardens, among the oldest landscaped water gardens in the world. Moats and pools controlled movement, not just beauty. Narrow causeways forced attackers into predictable paths. Water obstacles slowed troops and cavalry. Raised embankments created choke points. This was hydraulic crowd control. The gardens look serene today, but militarily, they were filters. Moats and pools controlled movement, not just beauty. Narrow causeways forced attackers into predictable paths. Water obstacles slowed troops and cavalry. Raised embankments created choke points. This was hydraulic crowd control. The gardens look serene today, but militarily they were filters. They operate entirely by gravity. No pumps, no pressure systems, no mechanical parts. The Barabar Caves are carved into solid granite. Their interiors are polished to a mirror finish. So smooth they reflect sound and light. Even with modern tools, replicating this finish in granite is extremely difficult. These caves are over 2,000 years old. No one explains how the polishing was done. They simply say, it was done. The interiors of the Barabar Caves are carved into solid granite and polished to an almost mirror-like finish. This polish is so extreme that light reflects clearly. Sound waves bounce cleanly. There is almost no acoustic absorption. In acoustic terms, this creates long reverberation times, strong echo persistence. Sound amplification instead of dampening granite normally scatters sound. Polished granite reflects it. That difference is everything. Carved to perfection and polished like glass, these caves were not done by hand, as some suggests, which makes this site clearly seem human impossible. Deep underground lies the Serapeum. Inside are enormous granite boxes, some weighing over 100 tons, placed in narrow tunnels with almost no clearance. The boxes are hollowed with precision, corners squared perfectly, surfaces flattened to astonishing tolerances. How were these lowered underground, turned, placed? No explanation fits the space, none. The Serapeum tunnels are narrow, low-ceilinged with sharp turns and confined chambers. Now consider a 100-ton box. No cranes, no forklifts, no steel rails, as far as evidence shows. The boxes were not carved in place. They had to be quarried in Aswan, 500 miles away, transported to Saqqara, lowered underground, turned, aligned, and seated precisely, lidded after placement. Every step creates a new engineering problem. Mainstream explanations usually stop at large labor forces and ingenuity. That's not an explanation, that's a placeholder. Persepolis was built to project permanence. Massive stone platforms, monumental staircases, and reliefs carved with surgical consistency. The scale implies absolute control over labor, materials, and planning. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is misaligned. This wasn't brute force, it was organizational mastery. Persepolis was not a capital city people lived in. It functioned primarily as a ceremonial complex, a symbolic center of imperial power, a place where subject nations brought tribute. Think of it less like Rome and more like a purpose-built world stage. That alone explains its perfection, its scale, its lack of residential areas. The massive staircases at Persepolis are unusual, extremely wide, very shallow steps, long, gradual ascent. Why? So, delegations could walk side by side, nobles in long robes wouldn't trip animals, and tribute could be carried safely. This isn't aesthetics, it's choreographed movement. The famous wall carvings aren't random art. They show delegations from across the empire. Each group identifiable by clothing and gifts. Calm, orderly processions, no violence. This makes Persepolis one of the most detailed visual records of an ancient empire ever created. It's not propaganda by fear, it's propaganda by order. Some columns, stood over 65 feet tall, were topped with massive animal capitals, bulls, lions, supported enormous wooden roofs. The stone bases are still there. The wood is gone. But archaeology shows the halls were roofed, not open air. That means precision load distribution, advanced understanding of compression, no margin for error. Persepolis was built for symbolism, not survival. Precision maintained across generations, massive stone engineering without modern tools, cultural coordination on a continental scale. No wasted motion, everything served a function. Persepolis doesn't shout mystery. It whispers competence, and sometimes that's more unsettling. Angkor Wat is famous for its equinox alignment, which occurs twice each year, around March 20th and the 21st, and around September 22nd and 23rd. On these mornings, the rising sun aligns perfectly with the central tower. The sun appears to crown the temple's peak. The reflection often mirrors in the surrounding pools. This is not accidental. Angkor Wat is my favorite archaeological site on Earth, not because it's mysterious, but because it's comprehensive. It's the largest religious monument ever built, integrated into a massive hydraulic system that controlled floods, droughts, and agriculture. It aligns with celestial cycles. It reshaped an entire landscape. It sustained a population of nearly 1 million people. This wasn't a temple, it was systems engineering on a civilizational scale, and it worked. The West Baray is one of the largest man-made reservoirs of the ancient world. Hard facts: roughly 8 kilometers long and 2 kilometers wide, held tens of millions of cubic meters of water, constructed with massive earthen embankments lined with stone in critical areas. This was not a pond, it was regional-scale water control. The West Baray served multiple critical functions. Agricultural control stored monsoon rainwater, released water gradually during dry seasons, stabilized rice production year-round. This allowed Angkor to support a population approaching 1 million, one of the largest pre-industrial cities on Earth. Thanks for your continued support. Please subscribe.